I'm sorry I have to make you listen to
not working tonight. Texas
douchebag
Governor Greg
Hannity.
Abbott calling for an investigation into the outages, and he joins us.
He's
now
interviewing
live to
Texas
explain.
Governor Greg Abbott.
I don't have a problem. I'm going to be very clear. I'm an all the above guy. Anything that works, I'm all for. Cheap energy, I'm all for. But that would include the lifeblood of the world's economy: gas, oil, old-fashioned oil, and coal. I'm not against
Notice Fox's all-out propaganda assault. We've got several Fox videos we're going to play tonight.
You have these rolling blackouts, and you got freezing weather. I mean, and they're not reliable, and it's use it or lose it. What good is it?
They are reliable.
Sean, this shows how the Green New Deal would be a deadly deal for the United States of America. Texas is blessed with multiple sources of
Now, first of all, this is the third time in the last 30 years that Texas has had this problem. That they've gotten frigid temperatures and not been prepared for it. They were warned about their infrastructure. It was just an instance of them cutting costs. They're doing nothing but scapegoating the green energy. It's a 2-for-1. They get to skirt blame, and they get to further their propaganda on behalf of the oil industry.
Energy such as natural gas and oil and nuclear, as well as solar and wind. But you saw from what Trace said, and that is our wind and our solar got shut down, and they were collectively more than 10% of our power grid. And that thrust Texas into a situation where it was lacking power in a statewide basis. That was power that was spread out by that ERCOT organization that you were talking about. As a result, it just shows.
So even he admits
is necessary.
It's only 10%,
Texas as well as other states, to make sure that we'll be able to heat our homes in the wintertime and cool our homes in the summertime.
Well, and on a second level,
yeah,
I mean, I've interviewed
they're talking out of both sides of their
working on
asses.
the
It's
Leonardo
astounding.
DiCaprio and Scarlett Johansson in Hollywood say, well, let's close the Dakota pipe.
But we've gotten to a point where the people that watch this just either don't care or are too stupid to even know. I think there is an element of people that are seeking out things that just it confirms what they want to believe. It's willful ignorance because it helps confirm their worldview. And that's another thing that's a shitty result of capitalism, is that people are now able to go and get whatever brand of news that they want in whatever flavor that suits them. And apparently a lot of people, the nut job fucking conspiracy theory style of news suits them. Where did the rest of the power go? That's the questions. And what did Greg Abbott know, and when did he know it?
Pipeline. Now they're going to close down Anwar. Well, these are high-paying career jobs.
Did they ever even drill in Anwar?
In the middle of a time when illegal immigrants are going to be made legal, which is going to drive
that's another. Okay, so
these are high-paying career.
As I remember it with Anwar, when did he know that? I'm sorry. You're right. My apologies. But with Anwar, drilling companies aren't going to go and drill in Anwar because it's so expensive to be able to extract the oil. So there's no reason for them to do it. So they sell off these permits just because, so a Republican president, Trump, sells off the permits to drill in Anwar. Oil companies buy it because they know they're going to sell it back to a Democratic administration, which is going to reverse it. It's just a fucking scheme to launder more public money into private hands. I fucking hate this shit.
Jobs for people. So the question is that the same problem California's been facing with these rolling blackouts? Is that the reason? Do you see similarities?
And I think California is in a tougher situation because
There are some similarities that has to do with privatization.
the Green New Deal type of energy, such as wind and solar, and they don't have the capacity that a state like Texas does to be able to tap into fossil fuel. And that's my point, Sean. And that is, if the Biden administration is going to try to eradicate fossil fuels,
To be able to tap into fossil fuels, if they can tap into fossil fuels, it was just 10%. Then why aren't you making it up? Why was there ever a failure?
That we as a country remain where we continue to provide access to fossil fuels for heating, for taking care of our homes, for industrial purposes, for cities to be able to run. And so it's just foolish to think that we can disband the use of fossil fuel and have a safe and comfortable nation.
We're all going to pay more at the pump. We're all going to pay more to heat our homes. Jobs are being lost. And these countries in the Middle East, some of
now
them,
I honestly, now that I'm sitting here watching these clips every night, I've been doing this almost a year now. I see where all the fucking talking points come from in the comment section.
The Paris Accord,
Like, this is the reason why they're all talking about gas prices. I don't know this shit because I don't watch these motherfuckers.
We're paying 100 times more than they are, or a significant amount more. My question is, so you still have 3 million.
And they call me a sheep
out of power right now,
all the time.
Freezing temperatures. How do you deal with the people that need help at this time?
Yeah, Abbott, what you gonna do?
Warming centers across the entire state of Texas for everybody who's in a situation where they cannot be warm. In any large city, at a minimum, there will be dozens, and sometimes maybe
I like that emote.
warming
That's cool.
centers to help the people in our state. And so we have the National Guard deployed across the state, as well as the Texas Department of Public Safety, the Texas Transportation Division, even
the
Texas
goat's cool
Parks and
too.
Wildlife, working with local officials to make sure that our fellow Texans, they will be taken care of during this trying time. But our same goal at the same time
Are
is to make
they?
sure, that we have ERCOT working around the clock, as well as working with the energy.
I had a guy come to my page today and talk about bread lines in Venezuela, and I'm like, motherfucker, there are people standing in food lines right now. And he said, not in Florida where I'm at, where we've got a Republican governor. And then one of my friends posted all sorts of pictures of people in food lines in Florida. Right-wingers are fucking morons. Hopefully, I hate all corporate media, but hopefully we'll at least get a little more sense out of the MSNBC crowd.
This all
With Beto O'Rourke. This is his name, right? Did I say it right? I do like Chris Hayes an awful lot. He's probably the best thing they've got going on that channel. Sam Cedar goes on there when he used to, when he went on MSNBC.
Things are right now, because I've been seeing lots of very upsetting and desperate messages from your fellow Texans in the last 24 to 36 hours.
And it really seems like the GOP does not care.
Than you are hearing from everything that I've learned from reaching out to the people that I've met across the 254 counties of Texas. Folks have gone days now without electricity or water at their homes. They're huddling together in their in-laws' homes. Or
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping we get some sense.
Generator power, or they're going to the Civic Center, which has been converted into a warming center, at least as long as there is capacity for more people.
And I hear that there might be talk of Beto running against.
As you know, far too many have died.
Well, I don't know if it's against Abbott. I don't know
What's gonna happen
if
in the
Abbott is
next
running for
24
re-election
hours.
or if it's somebody
Almost
else.
every major city,
But running for
Texas
governor
tonight
of
will see
Texas.
sub-freezing temperatures, and many of them will not have electricity or power, or in many instances, water. And as I think you pointed out in your opening, so much of this was avoidable. Going back to the deregulation of our electricity grid here in Texas.
Thank you.
Which has created an incentive to actually not weatherize or protect against these events, so that some of your plants can be shut down and you can profit from the spiking prices for energy and electricity. And then you have the cascading consequences of these stupid culture battles that are led by the GOP and our governor, Greg Abbott, who's focusing on making Texas a sanctuary state for the NRA, or they're arguing with the Mavericks about playing the Star Spangled Banner at the beginning of their games, or bathroom bills, or other kinds of stupidity, while we have very real emergencies, like a pandemic that has killed more than 40,000 of our fellow Texans.
Those are the ones you have to be on the lookout for.
The vaccine, where folks don't know how to get on the list. This recession that has put millions out of work. And now
give you the platitudes, then get into office and
North America
operate at the behest of the industry.
To warm and power people's in this great state. We are nearing a failed state in Texas, and it has nothing to do with God or natural disasters. It has everything to do with the leadership and those in positions of public trust who have failed us.
Yeah, that point you just made. I mean,
You're here. Thank
I pay
you.
a lot of attention to Texas politics because I think it's just fascinating. It's such a great state with such great people, and the politics are fascinating. And I was watching over the past week.
I have only driven through Texas. I really I was thinking about moving to Austin.
The Dallas Mavericks, and whether they were playing the Star Spangled Banner. That includes Dan Patrick.
Austin's made for. I'm made for a city like Austin.
For your lack of oversight, vision, investment,
way.
and planning with Texas Power Grid ERCOT. But hey, let's make a Texas law to force Mark Cuban's basketball team to sing the national anthem. Priorities. I mean, obviously people can walk and chew gum, but it does seem like, there are way bigger issues for the state of Texas right now, particularly amidst this emergency and even in the medium term.
Yeah, look at Governor Abbott's State of the State speech, which he gave within the last few weeks. He listed 5 top priorities. In them are election fraud, given the fact that we had the safest, most secure elections in American history. There really is no election fraud concern in Texas, certainly not a top 5 priority. You had this effort to make Texas a gun sanctuary state. Nowhere mentioned in those top 5 priorities was COVID or the vaccination rollout or the need to protect our fellow Texans against natural disasters like these. As you mentioned, climate change and the changing in the frequency and severity of natural disasters, from Hurricane Harvey to this
and
cold
Texas
blast
is
to future weather disasters.
primed to feel it the hardest.
What we don't know is whether our leaders are prepared to make the tough political decisions to prepare us for that.
From their land going arid to fucking hurricanes coming off the Gulf.